Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. I'm so grateful that you're here. Today we're going to take a look at who is currently on your spirit team and what are they helping you through. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with Reciprocity, group number 2 in the center with Abundance, and group number 3 on the right with Innocence. As always, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box, and there you can also find information such as connecting with me on social media if you're interested in personal readings, tarot or astrology or Reiki sessions, as well as any of my decks, journals, and books that I've made, such as my Follow Your Heart, my mini oracle, my light codes, graphic tarot. You'll see all of them in the reading today. And with all of that being said, I'm just grateful that you're here. If you're interested in exclusive content, my membership YouTube and my Patreon are also down there in the description box, where you'll be able to have access to exclusive content, one extra time a week per platform. So, thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at who is currently on your spirit team guiding you, and what do they have to say? You selected the first group with Reciprocity. And for every group, I have 3 cards ready before we start the shuffling. And alongside the Reciprocity card for you, Group 1, you actually have Freya coming out as your main guardian at this point in time. Freya is the goddess of fertility and love, originally a hostage of the Aesir, I'm not sure how to say that correctly. She taught them the magic of the Vanir. Her carriage is pulled by cats, and she has a cloak of a falcon that shapeshifts the wearer into a falcon, allowing her to fly. She's called upon in matters in love and fertility and receives half of those killed in battle, the other half going to Odin in Valhalla. She loves human singing. Her hand is often sought in marriage by giants. We have the number 3977 here. This Freya is helping you with reciprocity, as well as diving deeply within. Feeling in your... She is helping you to feel within your energy field where you are receiving enough, where you are giving enough, and how to become comfortable receiving abundance in the ways that are not just available, but in the ways that honor you and the ways that you want. Freya is around you very strongly right now, helping you to feel like you are protected maternally. And for some of you, she is nudging you in perhaps that music career, in sharing those songs that you write and you don't share, in having you whistle a little more, sing around the house, things like this. Freya is guiding your love life, but also your perception of the past and the future. She is helping you with some timeline work at this point in time, and she's also helping you to see the signs and synchronicities, how you are growing in each moment, and also how you can ground your connection with yourself and the divine connection within you with another human being. So, here we have this forward movement energy. Freya is wanting to help you progress forward, and by doing this, she is adding a little bit of extra sparkle to your life, to your appearance, and she's nudging some of those deeper rooted things, the beautiful things, of course, to come to the forefront a little bit more, to be seen. It's kind of like I'm being shown clairvoyantly someone getting nudged into the center of a dance circle. So just a little nudge, a little tiny nudge, helping you with all things fertility, all things love, all things reciprocity, and in ways that honor yourself. So let's see who else is on your spirit team right now. So we have Freya as the main guardian of you right now. Let's pull some more to see who else is assisting and with what they're working with you on. Okay. We have Pallas Athena, and Lady Nada. Okay, so we do have a lot of feminine energies coming out here for you that are helping you not only to connect with your own feminine energy, but allowing you to experience perhaps the healthy manifestation of feminine energy within yourself. Pallas Athena is a really interesting character, and you might want to learn about her story a little bit, but there is an energy here of being ready, willing, and able to do anything for those that you love. And we have the same energy here with, mother, wife, sister, daughter, Lady Nada, Pallas Athena, and Freya even. This energy of reciprocity is asking you first and foremost, with all this feminine energy, not only to check out what you're receiving and how it feels, but is it really worth it to you to put this on the line for something or someone you love? For example, are you the kind of person that would give up everything for love or for a calling or for a hobby? And this can be romantic love. This can be something that you love to do. It can be a hobby. This can be any situation at all. It can be for a job. Are you ready, willing, and able to give everything up for this thing? What are your boundaries there? I'm getting to tell you that you are exploring what feels right and wrong for you in this area, instead of it being maybe black or white, hot and cold, or taking a look at what was versus what is, and seeing how you have formed better boundaries and how you can continue along that path without being closed and not receiving, and without being closed and not giving. So we have a reciprocity here as a theme of your reading. So your spirit guides here want to remind you to slow down and to make sure that you are both giving and receiving in every situation that you are in your life, and also making sure that the situations you're in your life are ones that feel good to you, and making sure that both what you give and what you receive are things that feel good for you to be giving and receiving at the same time. That you don't feel like you are bartering with life to receive what you want, or with the person or with the job, and also so that you don't feel like you are receiving whatever's good enough and you're giving your best. You love what you give, but you're receiving, it's good. Not like this. So this is really, really hitting those checkpoints, allowing yourself to be led by life, but only in the directions that feel right to you. So let's see who else is on your spirit team right now. Okay, we have Andromeda coming out for you. Okay, so we have a lot of creative energy, a lot of jumping in, right? Adventure, say yes to change. So this is perhaps taking a look at risk assessment when it comes to certain situations in your life, okay? This is something like, perhaps they're showing me on Freya's card here how she is called upon in matters of love and fertility. You have the Mother card. This can be something like looking at, do you want to have kids in the future? Do you have children? Perhaps how can you make decisions that honor you and your children? Or would you give up everything for your kids, or do you put yourself first and have healthy boundaries with yourself and then show up for your kids better? Do you do one or the other in an out of balance way? This is in balance. There's no right or wrong answer. You have to be healthy in order to keep someone else healthy. Otherwise, you're draining yourself in order to not give the best you can. Or alternatively, you're focusing so much on yourself, you're receiving so much that you're not actually giving, right? So we have this energy of jumping in. We have a new beginning that's kind of coming around you. And this particular energy of spirit guides, especially with Andromeda here, they're asking you to get creative with what you are allowing yourself to put on your plate. So there's a little bit of an energy here of seeing what feels good to you and not being afraid to go for it, but simultaneously having that skill of risk assessment in place. Detaching from drama, not needing to ask everyone in the group chat what their individual opinions are, finding the answer from within, and finding this not just by detaching yourself, removing who you are entirely, and receiving divine guidance, which is always a beautiful thing to do. I will always recommend divine guidance and meditation, but this specifically, your spirit team is working with you on finding what resonates with you, what feels good to you as a person, not just what is any one particular chakra, right? Not just what is the most stable decision, not just what is the most pleasurable or emotionally fulfilling decision, not just what is the most powerful decision, right? We're looking at reciprocity here. We're looking at the balance of the heart chakra, not just where's the best communication or what's the most spiritual or what's the most faithful. We're looking at the heart, the center here, reciprocity. And so you're being called to get creative with the energies you are adding onto your plate. So there's a little bit of allow yourself to take a risk, and a little bit of, but maybe don't be all or nothing. Be precautious, not in a fight or flight or freeze kind of way, but do be cognizant about what it is you're willing to put on the table. Be cognizant about what it is that you're giving and what it is that you're receiving, making sure that it feels good to do both and that you're happy with what it is that you're giving, you're happy with what it is you're receiving, that it's not a sacrifice. That's not to say that certain things don't require discipline. It's not to say that certain things don't require sacrifice. This is saying that what they're working with you on right now, primarily when it comes to connections, when it comes to going for that job, going for that hobby, going for that person, going for that friendship, going for that adventure in life, you're being called to say yes to change, but to make sure that whatever it is that you might be putting on the table in exchange for that change is something that you are happy with genuinely. You're being called to look at the value, not the cost. So let's take another look here at who else is on your spirit team. Okay. We have Fintan MacBokra, who is in this deck represented as the Fool, and this is the first druid who would tell, reports essentially. Have you seen The Lion King Group 1? There's a scene that they're showing me that's the morning report. They're showing me the little toucan who would come and report every single morning and sing that cute little song. They're showing me this. And also, this is a guardian of poetry, artistic instinct, imagination, all things magical. So you're being called, especially since this is the Fool card, to take leaps of faith. You have Polaris coming in here too as your guide. And finally, you have Vajra Dakini. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. And I actually have my Vajra right here, so I'll ask it to join the reading today if it consents. Okay. So, your spirit team here includes Andromeda and Polaris, let's see so you can see, for the galactic energies, which is beautiful because this is kind of a very creative, artistic, but a little bit unique energy here. This is very, very much who are you as an individual? What is important to you? What calms you down? What is your idea of an adventure? And especially here with Vajra Dakini, there is this energy here where replacing hatred through learning and wisdom, you are transmuting an energy, or you are exploring an energy that you have had a difficult time with in the past. And she's covering up mother, wife, sister, daughter for Lady Nada. And she is almost but not quite covering up Athena. This is letting me know that you have done a wonderful job pertaining to releasing drama, releasing exaggeration, right? When you want to do something, making a decision, it's the end of the world. You start getting anxiety. You ask everybody about it, and it's the end. It's crazy, and so you end up maybe making the root chakra decision, or making the throat chakra decision, making the solar plexus chakra decision, anything like this. Here, you are not being afraid to learn, not being afraid to face spirituality, facing the east here, and we have number 45. The numbers that came out for your reading, 3977, 045. We have 9 coming out twice with 45. And this is significant because it's taking a look at what the future is going to look like for you, what stability currently looks like for you, and what changes you can make in order to still keep that feeling of stability, still keep that stability that you have, but still create changes that you want to make in order to still create change in your life, in order to have the future that you want, that you feel is meant for you, so that you can receive half of the energies. Half is give, half is receiving. Allow yourself to do things that make you want to sing at this time, and don't be afraid to really cross the T's and dot the I's here. This is looking at, again, risk assessment in your life. This is not saying that if something requires risk assessment, not to go for it. It is simply saying, what is the value to you? Don't exaggerate it. Don't jump in a way that loosens your stability, your security. And with Polaris here, continue to face your North Star. Continue to move in your direction, not the direction that you think is smart. Continue to have faith. The decision that's smart for you will not be the decision that's smart for society or the decision that your parents think is smart. When you are looking at making big life changes or going on adventures, trust that you're going to be moving forward beautifully, and that you're going to be able to acclimate wherever it is that you're going very, very well. But you are going to be required to look at your energetic sensitivity along the way. Now, this will be a beautiful opportunity to explore this as you dive deeply within, but you are being called as well to behave a bit like a cat in this situation, or in these situations, where the cat will check you out first, and you can let the cat know that you would like to interact with it, but it's on the cat's terms. And the cat will kind of maybe slink around you and sashay away, and the cat might snuggle up to you and play, and it might love one person and not like the other. It might be very, very picky. And so, group number 1, you're being called to say yes to change, but be picky. You're being called to take the risk, go for the adventure, but make sure that you're happy with what it is that you're giving up in order to receive that. Also, making sure that you're happy with what you're giving and equally happy with what you're receiving. So we'll pull some tarot cards here from my graphic tarot just to close out the reading. Spirit team of group number 1. What would you like to tell them? What would you like to tell them? Knight of Pentacles. Go at your own pace. There's no need to rush. You don't need to rush making any decisions, judgments. Okay, what's meant for you will not pass you up. They wanted to remind you of this. And so it's okay to go at your own pace. If you have to set certain boundaries, what's meant for you will honor those boundaries. And if you feel like needing to set a boundary in the first place is a red flag, they would like for you to reconsider that. Because this is not saying that, okay. I'm hearing the phrase, boundaries are an opportunity to keep a situation in your life. But the disrespect of those set boundaries is showing that someone does not value their presence in your life, or your presence in their life. So, Say, let's use like a more comfortable example. Say I'm speaking too fast. Now, you wouldn't necessarily never listen to my readings again because I'm speaking a bit too fast, because you can slow down the video, but you can also tell me, hey, I can only listen to your videos if you slow down speaking. And so I might slow down speaking, and then we might have a beautiful energetic connection. Versus making a rash decision because you had to set the boundary in the first place. This is kind of reevaluate some red flags that you identified at first, because they might not be what they seem. And you saw what you needed to see to get to where you are. But in order to follow your North Star, continue to go at your own pace, make decisions that you're comfortable with, and remember that you are the one that has the final say in your life and what you do, no one else. This is kind of giving the energy of someone who, say you have made the choice to not have kids in the future, and people around you don't understand, they don't respect it, they want to pressure you. Well, that's not their decision. Say you want to be in a relationship with someone, but your parents think it's too big of a risk. Now, you can do your own risk assessment, and it's what you're being called to do. However, you're being called to remember that it's your life and not anyone else's. Because the second that you ask the group chat, the second that you receive a ton of external opinions, is the second that things get inflamed. And when things get inflamed, it's harder to put your finger on exactly that point that matters. And so, because of this, you can be the person who will give and the person who will receive. You don't have to be the person that will give up everything to receive something, and you don't have to be the person that receives nothing in order to give your all. There is balance here. You're being called to remember at this point in time that the guards that you have up, the boundaries that you have set, if you have a picket fence around your property and there's someone that you know and you welcome them into your home and you're comfortable around them and you let them into the gate, that doesn't remove the gate. It simply allows that person, that energy, that situation in. That's not saying that because someone can come through the gate now that you have to knock the whole fence down. And alternatively, you have an opportunity to teach magic in some way, shape, or form. This might be an analogy, it might be literal. Get creative with what it is that you're putting on your plate. Have fun with it. Make sure that you are enjoying every single moment and follow your own North Star. We do have, again, this energy coming from the Fool card of poetic instinct and imagination. Letting yourself paint your life like a canvas. It doesn't have to be so red, and it doesn't have to be so purple. It can be a beautiful palette of abstract patterns and every color you can imagine. So have fun with it. And allow yourself to learn along the way, as we do. Our spirit team right now is really, really honing in on the expression of your feminine energy and allowing yourself to receive the actions or the offers or what is presented to you from outside of yourself, from the universe. So, instead of you acting and then receiving results from your actions, you're being called to give so someone else can receive, and you're being called to separately receive, or not just, as a law for life, but they're helping you trust what it is that you're receiving, trusting in other people's actions, trusting that that job will stay if they tell you it will stay, trusting that if you make the risk, maybe things will go better than you think. On the giving and the receiving end, but they're really, really, really focusing on the receiving end. Trusting that if you tell someone who cannot see a picket fence, maybe they're literally blind and it's not their fault, they can't see the picket fence. Maybe they bump into it and they're confused. You tell them there's a fence there, and here's how you open the gate, and now they can walk through the gate. But if they don't know, they can't try. Okay? So group number 1, that is who is currently on your spirit team. We have Freya, Pallas Athena, Lady Nada, Andromeda, Polaris, we have Fintan Makbokra, and we have Vajra Dakini. Please like this video, drop a comment, and it especially would help if you subscribe to my channel so that I can keep doing what I love and connecting with you all as well. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. I'll see you next time, and namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at who is currently on your spirit team and what they're helping you work through. And you selected the second group with the abundance card. Now, before we really dive in, I have to tell you, you are about to be so sticky to abundance. I took a walk on the beach this morning, and sometimes tar washes up and we don't really see it. It's from like oil spills that happen way, way, way far out in the ocean, and they eventually wash up on the shore. Kind of sad, right? Keep the oceans clean. But I realized just now that I had a little bit of tar on me, and I was trying to like scrape it off, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is so sticky. And the second that I smelled the tar, I felt sticky abundance. And I instantly had this knowing that this was for you. Not that I stepped in tar, but this with the abundance energy, you are about to be so sticky. Everywhere you look, it's going to be abundance. You're going to have offerings made to you. You're going to receive a lot of abundance. Some of you might be looking around like, crickets? Okay, cool, where? And I'm getting to tell you that's because the things that are showing up are going to stick. Okay, now let's get to your spirit team. For each of the piles, I have pulled one from, of course, my mini oracle and my follow your heart, but I have a leading energy. So who is kind of at the forefront of your spirit team guiding you personally right now? And this for you is going to be Frigg. And the card that we have for you is Ask for Help. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So we have the numbers for you, 1846, taking a look at how your self-perception can transform in a way that brings you more stability and comfort and can be more sustainable for the future. Frigg is the mother of Balder. After he dreamed his own death, Frigg made all things swear never to harm him, but considered mistletoe too young to take the oath. Possessing the power of foresight, she alone is allowed to sit in Hlidskjalf, I don't know how to say that, with Odin. Hlidskjalf. She has a cloak that allows the owner to shapeshift into a falcon, much like in Group 1, and is often called upon during childbirth in the human world. Now, birthing is often an analogy used in the spiritual realm for bringing something into fruition, for creating something, for creativity, and also this goes hand in hand with abundance. We're taking a look at how you can use your foresight to create something abundant, and not being afraid to ask for help is coming up as well. Now, I'm really noticing here where it says, Frigg considered mistletoe too young to take the oath. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. There seems to be an energy here that you are maybe still deciding upon, that you might be giving a pass to, or there might be someone who you trust unequivocally, and you might be called to ask them for help. And it might be someone who doesn't seem like they would fit the bill, and that might be exactly why. Now, a message coming from Frigg here, first and foremost, is you are going to be in a more abundant place than you currently are. You already know this. Some of you, it's don't worry, you're going to be in a more abundant place than you already are. Others of you, it's strap in. If you can believe it, you're going to be in an even more abundant place than you already are. So whatever that means for you, you're being prepared for what that entails. And inevitably, it's going to be, for some of you, putting yourself out there. For most of you, asking for help. For some of you, it's going to be the responsibility of the childcare after the childbirth, wherever it is in the process. However, for you specifically, this is asking for help. If you were to bring something into this world all by yourself, that's a lot of pressure. Think of, let's use the analogy of a new mother, okay? That's a lot of pressure on the body. It's a lot of pressure on the mind. It's a lot of pressure on the emotions. It's a lot of pressure on the spirit, okay? And usually, now not that it cannot or is never the case, but usually the mothers are not alone when they are bringing a new life into the world. And we often see in this society people starting businesses all by themselves. People trying to change their living situation all by themselves. People trying to rise to an occasion, rise to the next level of something in getting a promotion at work, changing their tax bracket. We have a lot of abundance kind of coming out here. Things like this. But we see people going at it alone. You're being called to look at your connection to what is unseen. But okay. Frigg has a question for you, just for self-exploration for a moment before we move along, okay? Who do you feel sees you clearly and has no stake in the game? For example, say your best friend really, really knows your heart and they really, really know your vision for the world. Maybe they'd have a hard time even remembering what it is you do for work. And maybe they don't know that coworker that you're always complaining about. So maybe, in a certain sense, they don't get it. Why would you go to them for help? They're not going to know how to deal with that person and help you get a raise in that job or whatever's going on, because they don't even know what you do, right? This is gold that is being presented as fool's gold. This is cloaked. The reason for this is because we all have foresight. We all have hindsight, okay? Hindsight is 20/20. You know where you've been. And even with psychic foresight, where you see where you're going, sometimes we need guidance. Sometimes we are not meant to do everything alone all the time. Even for my hyper individuals out there, hyper independence, okay? And that's not to say that you can't. And it's not to say, sometimes if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, right? It's not to say that anyone other than that mother is birthing that child, but it is to say that you don't have to do it alone. And maybe the perspective of someone who is not birthing that child can help you out, because they have a perspective that inevitably you do not and cannot have. But they do see one thing very clearly, and that is maybe not A and maybe not B, but they see that road in between. Whereas group 1, you're looking at A, you're looking at B. You are learning right now that you can ask for help from maybe not the person that you suspect. Maybe reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, maybe reading Atomic Habits, maybe they're going to tell you the same thing as all those YouTube videos that you watched and scrolled through. Maybe they're going to teach you the same exact things that you learned in high school. Maybe, perhaps. Maybe when it comes to painting, maybe you need the perspective of someone who is not a painter to help spark your inspiration, because maybe you have all of those techniques stuck in your head. They're showing me, I have danced my whole life, and I was really into choreography. And sometimes when you choreograph, you will have muscle memory towards other shapes you've been practicing, towards other techniques you've been learning. We would spend time going through different techniques like Martha Graham or Horton or Vaganova or Bolshoi, for example. And so someone who is not a dancer might say, wow, that shape was really cool, but I really liked the arm on that. That person might not know the difference between modern and ballet. They might not even know the difference between Vaganova and Bolshoi, but they might be able to say, wow, I really like how you went into that turn, and I really, really like the arm that you used afterwards. And it might be a combination of different things. Now, it's not to say that you are taking other people's ideas, but this is saying asking for help, because you might decide you're going to follow the Vaganova path, or you might be trying to make up something new, and the shapes that are kind of in your muscle memory, they're all Graham, and you're like, why every 4 counts am I contracting? Well, because you have Graham in your muscle memory. And Frigg is kind of saying, in whatever field this is for you, there is something here where you are not doing the wrong thing, but you're not quite doing the right thing. And this isn't about what you are or are not doing as much as it is about the fact that you are being guided right now to utilize external support, external ideas, external assistance. Not saying to copy everyone else's format, not saying to look at someone else's choreography, because that would be the same thing as following that technique pattern that you're using for your painting or for your choreography or for your business or for whatever. But this is to say that when you are bringing something into fruition, even though you are the one that's doing it, no one else can do it for you. What it is you're creating is unique. You are unique. Nothing can take that away from you. You still are not meant to do it alone. And so even though you might be kicking and screaming and trying and striving and doing everything by the book technically correctly, you are at a place right now where the catch is that you are independent, you are an individual, and you're being called to flip this on its head. Because there is some sort of guidance here pertaining to trusting your angels, trusting... They're showing me the Powerpuff Girls, which is interesting. How you can maybe delegate some tasks. How you can maybe outsource some effort. How you can maybe be disciplined in your approach with being as gentle with yourself as possible. Just because you can birth a child alone doesn't mean that you don't get to try to make yourself comfortable during the process. So this is going to have a lot to do with honoring yourself more and asking for help. And when you do go outside of yourself and you get that help, that advice from someone who seems exactly the opposite, someone might say exactly what you need to hear in the terms of, you know, I don't really know what you do for work. I don't really know how to birth a child. I don't really know anything about painting. But what I do know is that you seem really happy. Or what I do know is that the color yellow lights you up in a certain way. Or what I do know is that the shape is really pretty. Or that you've been kind of stressed out lately. Did you know you've been holding your shoulders up at your ears? And that is going to be, in somehow, some way, some form, the key to your... I'm getting sticky fingers, which is interesting. If you have someone around you and you're like, are they gonna like take something from me? No, this person has something to give you. So Frigg is really, really honing in on this message here. Let's see who else has some messages for you today. Okay, who else is on Group 2's spirit team right now that would like to make themselves known? Whoa! Baba G! Yes! Okay, sorry. I get so excited. That just makes me want to cry. I love Baba G so much. He's my favorite. My OG. So, yoga. Making sure you're taking care of your body, your spiritual hygiene, making sure that your eye is on the spiritual prize, not on the money, not on the abundance, not on the whatever your goal is, but why that's your goal, okay? You're being called right now. Okay, first and foremost, Babaji's on your spirit team right now, Group 2, so you are in for a blessing. You are in for a spiritual awakening. You are in for a heart expansion, a consciousness expansion. You're in for beauty and miracles, literally. But there's a message coming through to take a look at what it is that you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to bring into fruition, okay? And if you are looking at, say, you want to start a business. Why do you want to start a business? Because you want money. And why do you want, and maybe you want freedom of time. Maybe you want freedom of your schedule and you want some more money. Okay, so why do you want that time and freedom and money? Well, because you want to travel. Well, why do you want to travel? Because you want to learn. Why do you want to learn? Because it feeds you. Why does it feed you? Because you're curious. What are you curious about? To continue pulling on that string, going down that rabbit hole, okay? And at the end, you will find that zoomed out aha moment that you can apply directly to your situation. Instead of trying to tug on that string and climb yourself up, you're being called to yoga, and it doesn't have to be asana, okay? But essentially, you're being called to look at your connection with spirit. Look at your connection to the divine. And then look down. Or look from that perspective, from that higher consciousness at your situation. And Babaji coming through with the Ask for Help card, it's giving exactly the energy of the moment that you realize that you should ask for help, the moment that you realize you can ask for help, the moment that you finally do ask for help is the moment you receive that you had just, the moment that you realize you just received it. It's kind of like catching you before you fall. Someone putting their arms out and you saying, why are you doing that? That's weird. And then you end up tripping and falling into their arms. That's how Babaji's got you, okay? And you're not alone. You're not alone. That's why Frigg really wanted to hone in on this first message, okay? So who else is on Group number 2 spirit team right now? Guys, I love Babaji. I've channeled Babaji a few times, respectfully, on my channel. So if you feel called, please go check those out. Okay. Who else is on group number 2's spirit team right now? Who else is on group number 2's spirit team? Patience. You have been so patient. You are like a light. This patience is something that you saw you would need ahead of time. And so because of this, you've been practicing your breathing. You've been practicing your calmness. You've been practicing your demeanor. And this is going to be exactly what brings you that abundance. This is going to be exactly what brings you to your goals. You're thinking, I better calm down because I'll need patience to reach these goals. So I'll put one foot in front of the other. And what you don't realize is that you will reach your goals because you are calm, because you are patient, because you are reliable, because you are consistent, because the things that you learn, the things that you are learning are the things that get you there. Of course, we have Venus here and Mintaka, beautiful energies. So we have our galactic energies coming out for you. You have Venus and Mintaka. Okay. Seeing life for the wonder and the beauty that it is. And, opening yourself up to vulnerability. Even when you ask for help, this opens you up to vulnerability because you are sharing a part of you that is vulnerable. You are saying, this is my weak spot and I need help with it. Or you are saying, I see the potential, but I don't know how to manifest the currently unmanifested. These are topics, this is on the Mintaka card, but these are topics that you'll find a lot connected with Babaji, taking the unmanifest and bringing it into the manifest. Some of you might be interested in reading the Upanishads. There is an energy of Venus. What are your morals and your values? Yes, what do you love? What do you receive? This has to deal with money. It has to do with love. And the way that they're connected with your morals and your values and your virtues. And the way that you can take something that's unmanifest and manifest it. And this isn't about law of attraction and finding that right technique for you. Rather, this is about opening yourself up to vulnerability. Saying, this is my weak spot, can you help me? When you might be used to perhaps being vulnerable or being taken advantage of or needing to show no weakness, you're being called to soften into the opposite. You're being called to trust that just because a mother can birth a child on her own doesn't mean she doesn't deserve support. It doesn't mean she doesn't get to be made comfortable during the process. She doesn't have to be. But again, your spirit team is saying, stop backing up on that. You don't have to do everything alone. Surrender to the sweetness. Let someone do something nice for you. Ask for help. Delegate a task. If you feel spoiled a little bit, you're on the right track. And this isn't to say spoiled in like a weird kind of way, but say your friend comes over and you're really stressed out lately and your hair's in a messy bun and you're in your pajamas and you've got dishes from 2 days ago in the sink and you are just running on empty, but you're running 3 cups of coffee and a dream, right? And your friend comes over and they start doing your dishes. Let them help you. I'm getting to tell you that this person, whoever this is, that seems like they have something to give you, they might not be knowing when they're giving this to you, but what they give you will be priceless. And it will be because they know your morals, they know your virtue, they know that you are abundant. And there's also, we have Frigg here. They're showing me like Friday, which is the day of Venus. You have Friday and Venus coming out, so Friday can be significant for you as well. Allowing yourself to enjoy liberation. This is going to bring you through a liberated energy, which is also something of Babaji here, finding that liberation, but from within. Okay? So let's see who else is on your spirit team, group number 2, and then we'll pull a message from all of them. Venus would like for you to dive into your pleasure a little bit more. allow yourself to, I'm hearing what you would consider overly enjoy the process. Okay, maybe this is something where maybe you sing on a stage and you're like, oh, I don't want to get too into it though. Maybe you can really get lost in your art, lost in your craft. Maybe you can really get lost in the moment, lost in a person, lost in something that you enjoy. And maybe you are holding yourself back a little bit because maybe you need to stay professional. Maybe you don't want to show your vulnerability. Maybe you want to make sure that you still have both feet on the ground. Maybe you want to make sure that if you fall, or maybe you want to make sure that you don't fall so that you don't have to be caught. This is letting yourself make love to life, okay? Babaji is saying, yes, gently, spiritually, okay? So let's see who else is, on Group 2 Spirit Team. You have Nuadu and Lug, or Lu. I think I'm saying that wrong, but that's okay. So we have the Chariot and the Magician cards coming out here, okay? So for Nuadu, this is actually the god of war who lost sovereignty following physical disability. So this is someone who ended up not being able to support themselves and needed to rely on others. And so this is a really, really powerful guide coming through for you saying you can move mountains without lifting a finger. And here with Lug, you also have this energy of achievement, belief in your own ideas, like you can do it. And look at this picture here. He is deciding, and that is what manifests. Okay, so there's these really strong energies coming through to say, especially with Babaji saying, expect miracles, be realistic. And if you ask, you will receive. All you have to do is ask. And if you start receiving, don't question it, simply receive. This is about being a powerhouse without needing to lift a finger. This is about bringing the unmanifest to manifest. This is about trusting in your guides. They're saying, Group 2, we got you. Ask. Please ask. Maybe some of you are kind of in that place where you are, I could really use this. I know I need this, but maybe you're looking for, how can I be grateful for where I currently am? You're in that place of, I'm grateful for what is here. I know, and my spirit team and the universe, we all kind of are on the same page that it would be really cool if I blank. They want you to ask for it. Allow yourself to show your vulnerability, not put a cap on it, open it up. And trust in miracles. We have Mintaka here. Okay, I have to say, Mintaka with Nuadu, this combination here is really, 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 it's intimate and vulnerable. Especially with Venus, there's this energy of intimacy coming out. That is kind of saying, Chariot and Magician, keep going after what it is that you're going after. Continue looking on the bright side, continue moving forward. Trust that you are balanced, you are a master of whatever you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. That's not the problem. Remember in the beginning how we had this energy of you're doing everything right, but what? The what is Mintaka. Mintaka was so trusting, so pure, so open that it got destroyed. Nuadu is a god of war who ended up getting disabled and needed to rely on those around him. And so we have this energy here of trusting in your support, in the physical and in the spiritual, and knowing that every single distraction, every single person, every single particle of the universe is in its proper place. Ask and you shall receive. I will pull who else is on your spirit team here, bringing in support for you. Who else is bringing in support for group number 2? Spirit team of group number 2. Okay, beautiful. We have the Anunnaki. A lot of really ancient, powerful energies coming out here for you. Okay, you are tapping in with ancient, maybe some of you ancient earth, ancient lifetimes, ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom. And because of this, you're being called to allow yourself to explore. Allow yourself to explore internally. Allow yourself to explore literally the realm of the unmanifest while the things in your external reality are taken care of for you, okay? This is something like your friend coming over and doing the dishes for you. Okay, this is something like trusting that you'll get a bonus when you get your vacation. This is something like trusting that your physical world will carry on and continue to move towards your goals while you are doing your internal calling. Okay, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to enjoy it. If you want to meditate and you don't have time, prioritize your meditation. Life's not going anywhere. Okay, so I have to cover her breasts here. So we have Blue Dakini coming out for you with number 48. 48 hours is going to be a significant time period for you, forward and backwards from the time of this reading. Be fierce and vanquish whatever is holding you back. She's coming through to say, group 2, I got you. Don't worry about being vulnerable. Okay, if you feel as though I'm hearing like evil eye or some weird stuff going on around you, conduit from the sky to the earth. If you feel like there is some weird energy around you and you feel vulnerable opening up, with like intimacy, vulnerability, asking for help, relying on others to do something for you, external support. Essentially, Blue Dakini is saying, you don't even know, I got you so hard. Like, you also have Vishnu coming out, which is beautiful, beautiful. And you also have Hayagriva coming out. So we have the life force within us is the same power that created the universe. Again, this energy of the unmanifest coming to manifest. And use your strength to help someone who's struggling. Okay? If you have recently paid it forward in some way, this is going to be coming back for you. Or if you've been called to pay it forward, this is because you are about to receive a really, really big blessing. And so you are given an opportunity to give and you will receive. But you do not need to give in order to receive. You are being called at this time to trust in external support because you are happily an angel to others without thinking twice. And that is why you are being called to trust. Look how many extra energies came out for you today. Trust that others can help you without you needing to ask, without you needing to lift a finger. So let's see what your spirit team would like to share with you. They've got one more message for you. I'm going to use my graphic tarot. We have on your spirit team so far, we have Frigg, Babaji, Nuadu, Lug, Venus, Mintaka, the Anunnaki, Hayagriva, Vishnu, and Blue Dakini. Okay, there's something here about closing out a cycle of maturing, coming to a certain place. You've put in enough work now. They're showing me the gestation process of something is over. You're closing out a chapter. You're closing out a cycle. Something is grounding and activating. You're being called now to explore the ancient and unmanifest. Anunnaki is also all about the unmanifest as well. I highly recommend for some of you to read the Emerald Tablets if you have not, if that calls your interest, if you want to explore that world a little bit more. And to focus for the next 48 hours on that internal exploration. See what maybe ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, what deep cosmic knowledge wants to come to and through you. And Babaji is saying in this process as well, keep your eye on the spiritual prize. Okay, don't get lost in La La Land. Don't get lost in Mintaka. Don't get lost in Anunnaki or Nibiru. Don't get lost in Venus. Don't get lost in a past life. Keep that anchor point. Keep that anchor point. And then still explore. See what there is that's coming forward, but make sure that you're keeping your anchor. And for the next 48 hours, trust that, look at these, guardian at the temple gate, God preserver of the celestial realms, conduit from the sky to the earth. This is all about taking spiritual energy and anchoring it down. You've got that spiritual energy, and now you have the card of abundance. You are being called, that last piece, it is to receive help. It is for you, just like Nuadu, to show your vulnerability, show your weakness right on your chest, and trust that this will be the thing that does not bring your destruction, but instead brings you being fierce and vanquishing whatever's holding you back. That is what this is. It's hyper-independence. That's what they're working with you on. So We have the World. Okay, step outside your comfort zone. You've closed a chapter, the chapter that you needed to learn how to be self-sufficient, the chapter that pushed you into being hyper-independent, the chapter that taught you to use your discretion and maybe don't just trust everybody blindly all the time, the chapter that taught you, apart from your spiritual anchor, there's all this fun little stuff to explore, or that taught you, for example, there's all this cool stuff to explore. Oh, did you know you should probably have a spiritual anchor? Whatever this is, whatever you learned during your gestation process, it is now time. It is time now. This energy has come to a close. Now, you have a decision to make around the end of this 48-hour period, and you're being called to listen to your internal guidance, listen to your heart, and don't be afraid to follow your passion. Venus is coming up here saying a little bit of like, do it. Let yourself make the decision. Look, we have 2 indecisive cards, but we have 22, which is coming out as High Agriva here. Use your strength to help someone who's struggling. Okay, this is divine intervention. Okay, you're going to have a decision to make that you're being called to follow for reasons of you get to enjoy life too. You get to have nice things, you get to have fun, you get to play, you get to make love to life, okay? And while you are enjoying yourself, this will be something that helps liberate something or someone else. And this is also going to be something that liberates you, because you're where you are in your path and where something or someone else is on their path, on their journey, are being brought together for a reason. And this is 2 of Pentacles to ground, 6 of Swords. You might not feel as though you're sure there's stable ground. You might not feel that you're sure you can do this alone. Can you move mountains? You don't have to do it alone. You are being called right now to explore, not needing to lift a finger to get things done. Okay. One more message, please. Message from the spirit team to group number 2. What would you like them to know? Make the decision to ground. Make the decision to ground it. Make the decision to manifest it. Make the decision to create it, to do it, to say yes, to ground it, to anchor it. Do it. You are bringing spiritual energies down. The way that they manifest, okay? Have you heard? Release attachments to when you're trying to manifest something so that they can come in the ways that serve you the best or in ways that are even better than you imagine. You are anchoring spiritual energies through you, through your body, through your life, through your vessel. You are being called to continue grounding these energies, regardless of what it looks like. So when you're given the choice to ground something, do it. You will not need to lift a finger. Okay? Sign the contract, go to the place, enter the relationship, do the thing, trust the person. This is all about vulnerability. A truth. Okay. A truth that has recently been revealed has opened up your heart space. Now you are in a place where you can move forward honestly and truthfully to all of you, not just the parts of you that have been guarded for a long time. This has been divinely orchestrated so that you will end up where you need to be, where you want to be. But in order to get there, you saw A and you saw B, but the path in between maybe was unfathomable to you because it was still unmanifest, and this you accessed in the spiritual realms. When something is trying to ground in your life, say yes, because that is your path. It is your path. It is not change that you're going to be. It is that path. It is that dirt road between A and B that you need someone else's outsider perspective goggles to find. Follow your heart. It's okay to be afraid. You don't have to be the one to do everything all the time, and stand in your ancient power. Group number 2, that was a lot. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. That is a bit about who is on your spirit team right now and what they are working with you on. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And whatever this is you're worried about is sustainable. Vishnu is coming through. Okay, the sustainer. I love you. I hope to see you next time. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my channel, if you liked this video, and if you left a comment down below. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at who is currently on your spirit team and what are they helping you work through. And you selected the third group with the Innocence card. Before we get into your reading, I want to show you that there are 3 cards here before we get into the shuffle. One from my mini oracle, the card you selected, which is Innocence. We have 1 card from my Follow Your Heart oracle, which actually is Psychometry and Clairabilities. And we have 1 card here indicating who is around you most strongly of your spirit team right now, who wants to present themselves as the leader of this message before we get into the other members of your spirit team currently. And you actually have Utgard Loki. So, a master of illusion, Utgard Loki, is so mighty at his craft that he tricked Thor, Loki, and Thjalfi, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, into competing against the giants of Utgard in various challenges to prove themselves worthy of being in his presence. Thjalfi was defeated in a running race, Loki in an eating competition, and Thor in competitions of strength, wrestling, and drinking. After their defeat in those seemingly easy tasks, the trio were banished from Utgard. Your numbers here are 39, 12, which are really powerful numbers that indicate time, like time alchemy, healing, closing out chapters, dreams, spiritual gifts, and we have psychometry and clairabilities here, along with innocence here. They're showing me Nikola Tesla, so there's definitely this energy of building blocks of the universe, almost going against an undefeated energy, an undefeated source, and that source is spirit, that source is innocence, that source is literally source. So here we have this dynamic coming out first and foremost that Utgard Loki would like to draw to your attention. One of illusion, and tricks, and one of innocence. And these dynamic energies, these 2 polar opposite energies, kind of are alluding with the psychometry and clairabilities energy. They're showing me a magician. So as we know, we have the magician card in tarot. It can be a magician that is someone who is an alchemist, a master of alchemy, or someone who is an illusionist, actually, for better terms. And it's kind of funny too, because they're showing me a magician, an illusionist, doing a card trick for an audience. And so this energy here with psychometry, clairabilities, and innocence, counteracting with Utgard Loki showing up on your spirit team here, is indicating that right now you are identifying illusion from innocence, purity from manipulation, trustworthiness from deception, and also we're having mastery coming online for you, a spiritual purging coming online for you, a growth, an expansion, and a spiritual upgrade. Some of you are going to be, I'm actually hearing all of you, are going to be experiencing an increase in your spiritual gifts in a way that shows you the truth behind some things that before you could not have been convinced are true or exist. This can be something like you begin to have premonitions, and maybe before you thought that all psychics were shysters. This can be something like you accidentally use telekinesis, and maybe before you thought it didn't exist. Now, this does not have to be so cut blank. There is this energy here of looking at your morals, your values, looking at your expression, looking at what you think is logical and rational, the way that you're currently thinking, and opening and expanding your mind. Looking at the way this relates to you and the way that you see yourself, and then seeing how you can turn this into something beautiful, lovely, magical, pleasurable. So, there's something here about you learning that you are worthy of experiencing divine bliss, connection with something greater, worthy of experiencing deeper spiritual gifts or spiritual gifts in the first place, or for some of you, worthy of innocence. Some of you in this group may have felt like your innocence has been lost, your innocence was taken. Others of you feel as though you have seen too much of the world, and so you don't want to, I'm hearing scare someone who is innocent. There's kind of this duality here with Utgard Loki and innocence. This can be someone who maybe you don't want to like taint someone's innocence, or maybe you feel like you don't get to experience that rebirth, get to experience that innocence. And I'm getting called to remind you here that when you are facing unknown, it is okay for you to face uncertainty, because if you don't try, you'll never know. And it's not a competition of who is the biggest, the strongest, the most something. There's room for everyone, everywhere. And there's something here about just the innocence and clear abilities here, the spiritual gifts, the ability to touch something. Perhaps some of you are interacting with a spiritual person or a particular energy, and this is bestowing gifts onto you. Utgard Loki is a giant, and in Norse mythology, where this refers to, Utgard Loki is from the land of the giants, which is like the opposite of the land of the gods, like the enemies of the lands of the gods. And so there's this dynamicism here over what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what do you stand for, and why. Now, from the giants' perspective, the gods would be bad, but from the gods' perspectives, the giants are bad. However, this is not to say that one is right and the other is wrong, although there may already be a predetermined association with those words. However, Utgard Loki is coming in at the front line of your spirit team on this message for you today to let you know that magic exists. Be realistic, expect a miracle. And giants have magical powers too. They're showing me the energy of the giants on Earth, and how sometimes it might be easier to comprehend things that are right in front of your face if you don't have all of the context, the whole past, the whole future. If you do not have psychometry and clair abilities, if you stick to innocence, meaning naivety, sometimes you might be perceived as a god, as a child. Sometimes you might be perceived as a light, as innocence, as purity. Sometimes you might be seen as the enemy, easy to manipulate, a child in a negative way. The perception of innocence to you and to something else can be different. Here we have this figure, Utgard Loki, showing up on your spirit team, helping you to quantify some of the things that are going on in your life by asking you to expand the things that you think that you know, asking you to expand your mind and be open to new possibilities, and to notice where things are speeding up in your life. Because while you are trying to wrap your head around or fathom the way certain things can work out, how or why you're experiencing certain phenomena, you might actually be hitting the jackpot, and you might be giving yourself a headache. Sometimes it's easier to receive information when you are not trying to think as hard. This is giving overanalyzing a little bit. It's giving competing, it's giving challenges, it's giving running, it's giving strength and wrestling. It's giving a lot of really like almost forceful and colliding. That's the word I was looking for, like collision type energies. But what are you colliding into? If you gently pump on the brakes a little bit before you need to stop, you will be able to come to a slow, steady halt. You will be able to have plenty of space, see what is around you very beautifully, stop a little early, enjoy the view. But if you wait until the last minute and you slam on those brakes, the chances are going to be higher that you ram into something, or even that the car itself jolts. You are being called to look at the things in your life and take them in bit by bit, as though you were gently pumping on those brakes. And with this, you are being called to trust in the duality of different things. Something that you might have associated with illusion might actually be truth. Something that you perceive to be a master might be a beginner, or vice versa for either of those energies. Utgard Loki would like you to take a look at some of your gifts and abilities that you already naturally have, and see the way that to someone else, they might be perceived as magic, whereas to you, they make logical, rational sense. And in the context that we're all individuals, meaning that you can be a giant or a god, and both, from another perspective, can be perceived as mythological creatures, who's really to say what is normal? Who's really to say what is magic? Innocence, spiritual, illusion, on top, etc. The number 3 is presenting itself very strongly in your reading, and you did also choose the third group. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of conflicting ideas, a lot of hot and cold temperatures, a lot of communication, a lot of different thoughts, a lot of mental energy here that might be a bit hot, cold, yes, no, black, white, up, down, all around. Because when you take two things and you pin them back and forth like this, and they eventually speed up, they will continue to synchronize and get so close together that eventually they will create their own force. And this force is an expansion for you that opens up psychometry and or other clair abilities. This will be something that opens up your spiritual eye, and something that leads you into divine knowing, and something that shatters and heals your perspective of innocence. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it a real thing? Is it a smart thing? Is it a naive thing? Is it a strategic move? Is it a silly move? Is it on purpose? Is it on accident? What does it really mean? Utgard Loki would like to open up your perspective when it comes to whether or not innocence is strength, kindness is weakness, and whether an amoral approach is the most likely to succeed. There is this perspective on the world, on the way that things work, on perhaps different groups of beings, different groups of people. There's a them and us kind of energy here. There's a people like this and people like that, or those that do this, or those that believe this. There's almost this compartmentalization that's going on here. And Utgard Loki is guiding you through, cracking through some of these preconceived notions, labels, and associations that you currently have, that you are noticing being contradicted in your life. Again, on the other side of this, you will be able to experience more, able to understand more, and you're going to notice that some of the things that you deem to be unhealthy will be what led you towards ultimate health, and how some of the things that you deemed to be healthy might have been what led to your downfall. Again, playing off this idea of innocence, this idea of right or wrong, this idea of black and white, of us and them, of easy and hard, of spiritual and grounded, of good and bad, giants and gods. Now, Utgard Loki is not even his name. Actually, he is called the Loki of Utgard, meaning the land of the giants. He is like the trickster. He's like the Loki of the giants. That's what his name means, except it's not even his name. Group 3. It is just what has been bestowed upon him and how many have come to know him. So, with this being the case, be careful with judging a book by its cover. Be careful with labels, and allow yourself to continue expanding your mind. Continue to trust that sometimes laughter and innocence are the best medicines. And sometimes medicine is the best poison. It's the message that's coming through. So let's see who else is on Spirit Team, and we'll see what the messages are that they are bringing forward for you today. Whoa! That flew out. Artistic expression with Paul the Venetian. Okay. So, group number 3. Oh, 3 is a number of creativity as well, and it's the solar plexus chakra. This can be the relationship, the connection between your neighborhood, your expression, your artistry, and your sense of self. Some of you are specifically not an artist, or some of you specifically are an artist. Taking a look at what it means. What is art to you? And if you are an artist, then what does that mean that you're not? Taking a look at things like this, flipping them inside out. But with Paul the Venetian here, how is your life art? How are your words art? How is your emotional state art? And how does that correlate to your sense of self? How do you feel different than others in a way where you might feel ostracized, in a way where you might feel neglected, in a way where you might feel oppressed or put to the side? We have the 7 star sisters coming out here. So we have the Pleiades showing up on your Spirit Team as well. Birthing creations, tapestry of life, and expression. We have this really central theme here about the innocence of authentic expression, about artistic tapestry of life, about raising your vibration, birthing creations, and what is an illusion and what is true. There's almost this energy of, in a confined space, whatever fits in that box might be true in that box. But when you leave that box, everything is possible. When you leave that box, everything can be true. Outside of that box will be a bigger box that box fits in. It's like they're showing me Russian dolls in my clairvoyance. So you'll see the box, that one thing is an illusion, but outside of that box, it might not be. But in the even bigger box, it might be an illusion again, and even outside of that, it won't be. Meaning, keep swimming, keep going forward. And don't be afraid to come off a little weird. Don't be afraid to ebb and flow and shift and change a little bit in a couple different ways, because you are not meant to just stop developing at a certain point. You are not meant to just stop growing and expanding and learning and feeling and loving at a certain point. You do not reach a certain age or a certain milestone or a certain experience and immediately lose your innocence. Now, your emotional state, your trauma, your experiences, your wounds, your hurt, your pain, those are all extraordinarily valid, of course. However, innocence, the innocence behind authenticity, the innocence behind genuine expression, and behind leaving this place a little bit better than you found it. The Pleiadians are around you pretty strongly at this time as well. And there's a reason why they're pointing to Utgard Loki. There's a reason why there's kind of this, they're showing like a deep dark hole kind of. So this can be something where maybe you have a dark corner, maybe you're doing some shadow work, maybe you have one emotion where you get swept into it, it kind of gets carried away. Maybe you're dealing with some mental health energies, maybe you're dealing with some emotional energies, maybe you're working through some healing of some traumas, maybe you are working through your perception of your own innocence, your perception of your own self-worth, your perception of your own artistry, of your own expression, of your own creations, of your own life. What do you get to have and why? what should have, would have, could have happened in order for you to maybe become XYZ. These are the boxes that you're being called to grow out of. Because who might call themselves gods might lose to what they deemed to be the enemy of the gods, when in reality it's an earth-walking giant. And one of which they didn't even know their name. So, just because magic exists over here does not mean that magic does not exist over there. Just because you see someone as innocent does not mean that you are not innocent. Alternatively, if you see someone thrive, that's not taking away from your own ability to thrive. If you see someone shine, it doesn't take away from your own light. If you see someone succeed, it doesn't take away from your own success, so on and so forth. And with this coming up, your spirit guides want to let you know that if you tap in a little more deeply with that inner child of yours, that innocence that is within you, that version of you maybe that didn't know any better, or that still has all that hope and that faith and that optimism. If you tap into that version of you that's unapologetically artistic, that's unapologetically fun, that's spiritual, that explores different realms, that likes to create. If you tap in with that expression, you will see how divine it is. And letting that version of you come to the forefront a bit, letting that version of you emerge, will be something that you will never want to pass you by again. And so this seems like what your spirit team is working with you on right now. So let's see who else is on your spirit team right now, giving you support and what we can put together for you about what they're working with you on. Okay, spirit guides of group number 3. Who is on group number 3 spirit team right now? Who is on group number 3 spirit team? Okay, beautiful. We have, I think it's Bode. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but this card is the Wheel of Fortune, which is indicating that things are working in your favor and to expect some good luck on the horizon. Now, Bode is actually the goddess of battle. She brings forth changes, revelations, and we do have this big energy of psychic expansion, spiritual awakening, this big energy of, well, I heard big energy like the song. Things are really working out in your favor. And there is this question of innocence, of, I'm hearing the song Innocent by Taylor Swift actually. Who you are is not what you did. You're still an innocent. There is a huge energy here of knowing that you can be graceful and elegant and still fight the good fight. You can be seen any type of way and still, you can be seen as a giant who is the enemy of the gods and still outwit those with their fancy magical powers. You can, using innocence, it's kind of giving David and Goliath a little bit. Who is the Goliath in your life? It's giving the energy of just because something is presented a certain way doesn't necessarily make it true. And just because you've come to believe something for such a long time also doesn't mean it's true. We are so good at creating perceptions through our mind, and that is how we create our reality. However, the reality, universal truth, will always be larger than what we can comprehend. So as much as we can create, and you are being encouraged to do so, to create group 3, there will always be more to learn, and with that comes unlearning. And so we're noticing there is a framework here for you that is opening and shifting. We're noticing that something has begun, and it feels innocent. It feels pure. It feels, dare you call it, too good to be true? When your intuition is telling you it's not. When your gut is telling you it's safe. when your heart is telling you it makes sense and it feels good, and how it somehow is cleansing and healing and lucky and artistic and beautiful and fun and expansive. And that seems to color outside the lines a little bit, which is absolutely okay and required to see what else can exist beyond that original structure. Sometimes we do experience luck in a battle, especially when it seems like the odds are out of our favor. And this is really shown here by Utgard Loki, how he won against Thor, Loki, and Thjalfi, and also with Bode. She is a warrior goddess. She's literally a goddess of war. And also, there's an energy here about a mystery name, about a name not being known, or about something not being called by its name, not claiming the name, not saying it out loud, not wanting to go there because then it's real or something like this. Because Utgard Loki, that is not his name. The Seven Star Sisters, that's the Pleiadians, but that's not the name that's on here. By innocently, purely, genuinely calling something by its name, because to do so in some way breaks a confinement, or perhaps gives you the feeling of coloring outside the lines. And that might be a little scary. It might be a little big. It might beg the question of what is real versus what is art. I'm hearing that phrase, art imitating life, or life imitating art. That paradox there, that duality. And the energy here of repression. The energy of realizing where you may have been repressed or have been repressing yourself or something like this when being faced with an opportunity of a lifetime, where you have a little luck in your life, where good things do happen to you, where you do have a blessing, where you can win, even if you're outnumbered, even if it's luck that wins, even if your name isn't known, or even if you don't know exactly what's going on. This is tapping you in with your higher knowledge. This is tapping you in with your intuition in a stronger sense. This is tapping you in with the blueprint of the universe. This is calling in soul fragments. This is reintegrating all those different pieces of yourself, recalibrating and looking at the way that you see the world now, and letting it be different, letting good things happen, and not needing to try to protect yourself against the need to try, the want, the desire to try to pick up that paintbrush, to try to start that business, to try to go to that school, to try to hop on that plane, to try to be in that relationship, to try to continue that friendship. This is saying that luck is on your side. And your spirit guides are trying to remind you of your own strength and of your own innocence. Because the truth of the matter is, love always wins. And I think the fact that it took so long to come around to that up until this point in the reading is connected to this lack of calling it out, the lack of saying the name. Because innocence, luck, the wheel of fortune, spirit, art, Pleiades, what are all of these things? What do they all have in common, group 3? Unconditional love. Sometimes love is enough. Sometimes innocence isn't naive. Sometimes luck exists. Sometimes magic isn't just an illusion. Sometimes you get to experience it firsthand. So, sure, maybe put your seatbelt on, but still get on the ride. Your spirit guides, before we get into the other beings on your spirit team right now, want to let you know that your future can look very differently than the way that you have been expecting it to go. And it's going to require you to break some self-limiting beliefs. And this is, of course, easier said than done. But you can and will be successful. This is something where when you believe it will work, it will work. If you believe that it doesn't, it won't. Your spirit guides right now, they're letting you know luck is on your side. Things are working in your favor. You're the good guy. You should say the thing. You should call the name. Love will be enough. This is saying all of these things. But they also want to remind you, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. Your spirit guides want to let you know that they can set up every positive situation in the world for you. But if you don't accept them, then you will not receive the gifts. You can have Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Just, this is what they're showing me. You can have Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in front of your face. You can have the golden ticket in your hand. But if you don't walk through the door, because you don't know what's inside, you will never know. And you are being called to walk through the door. So let's see who else is on your spirit team right now supporting you. Group number 3, spirit team. Who's on group number 3, spirit team? Oh, we have a divine feminine coming through for you. I'm getting that this is a divine feminine energy that is outside of you, okay? So someone in your life, this is a feminine energy. It doesn't have to be a woman, but a feminine energy is like the higher self. The higher self of someone that you know in their feminine energy is looking out for you, is on your spirit team. The higher self of someone you know is on your spirit team. And they want you to know that I'm hearing that song Mine by Taylor Swift. A lot of Taylor Swift, don't know why. I'm hearing you are the best thing that's ever been mine. Okay, so this can be a friend, this can be a mother, this can be a lover, this can be a coworker, I don't know. They're also showing me in the movie WALL-E, they're showing me Eva, who's like Wally's love interest in the movie. When all seems lost, love is enough. When all seems lost, even though Utgard Loki is the enemy of the gods, he still wins. Because why? Who called him that? Not someone who is moving through love. Ooh, and we have Vega as well. Okay, really high vibrational energies coming through. Now, you might be learning about a lot of new things right now. And it might be a little bit of system overload. We have learning, we have unlearning, we have different shapes, different shapes, sizes, colors, associations, labels coming out than what you're used to. We have different life situations, different kinds of people, different definitions of health, different heart rates, different art, different expression, different creations, different ideas coming out right now. And so, group number 3, your spirit team wants to make sure that you know that you are supported in ways that you cannot even currently fathom. And while it might be easy to think that we want to know everything, or for some of us, easy to just say, it's fine, I don't need to know. Knowing enough can be a power. And also, needing to know too much can also be your downfall. And trust that you know what you need. You know what you need to know. There's something here that is seemingly left unspoken, but it's like on the tip of the tongue. There's something here that is left unnamed, unclaimed, unspoken, unwritten. That is, again, it's like on the brink, just on the brink. So close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Literally, exactly this energy. There's a strength behind innocence. Not necessarily when you don't know any better. And so, people come at you weird, but in a way where you keep your honesty, you keep your purity, you keep your hope, you keep your optimism, you keep your willpower, your desire to try. Even though sometimes we try and we fail. But if we don't get back up, how will we know? In order to get good at something, you must first be bad at something. In order to learn something, you must first not know. And so this beginner's mindset, this David and Goliath energy, this luck really is on your side right now. It's not too good to be true. Be realistic, expect a miracle, and love is enough is really the main theme of your reading here. You are going to be experiencing something that makes you feel like home and something that makes you want to, I'm hearing risk it for the biscuit. Something that's going to make you want to try, something that is going to make you want to risk it, something that might inside a confined container be like, oh my God, I'm crazy for thinking this. I'm crazy for wanting this. I can't believe I have this idea. I can't believe I'm crazy if I take this opportunity. And your guides are letting you know that, hey, what if things are actually able to work out for you? What if this is a breath of fresh air? What if luck is on your side? What if love is enough? What if you get to paint your life like a canvas? What if you showing up ready, willing, and able to fight is the only thing required of you in order to win the battle? Innocence. Okay. Group number three, spirit guides who would like to come forward. Oh, White Tara offers liberation. Oh, beautiful. There is a feminine energy around here that loves you so much with the number 35 that is helping you bring change into your life by changing the way that you express yourself. Maybe adding a little more optimism in there, maybe letting your inner child come to the forefront. We have by your quiet listening, you can liberate others from fear. By letting yourself be a safe space. By listening to the stories of others. It's all right, just wait and see. Your string of lights is still light to me. Who you are is not what you did. You're still an innocent. When you read the book and not just look at its cover, when you try the opportunity instead of just saying yes or no, when you explore the realm instead of just brushing it off, when you use your spiritual gifts instead of just shutting them down. And sometimes they're scary. Sometimes it's scary to take a risk, to start a new job, to move houses, to open up mediumship, to make a new friend, to breathe air, to drink tap water, right? There is risk in everything. And here, you have knowledge, you have actually wisdom that will take you a lot further than you think. And I'm being shown this lotus position can be significant for you. The peace mudra. By opening up your heart and by listening, you can liberate others from fear. And so, alternatively, what if you want to liberate yourself from fear, you express. We have expression coming out twice in your reading. You're giving someone else freedom to express will liberate their fears. And you expressing fearlessly will liberate your fears. So, this is really powerful energy here. Peace. I'm hearing Om, peace, peace, peace. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I just wanted to take a moment of silence to breathe here. Because this is innocence, this is peace, this is the calm after the storm. This is feeling safe enough to tap in with your heart, to expand into your divine feminine. Or this is feeling like you have enough information to tap into your heart and do something and try. Luck is on your side. And also, there is this energy here of revelation, which is actually a song by Third Day that I love. It's a Christian band, but there's the song Revelation that I love. It's like a prayer saying, give me a revelation, show me what to do. I've been trying to find my way. I haven't got a clue. Music has been coming up in your reading more than the others, so it can be significant for you. Primarily lyrics or written word, spoken word, expression coming out a lot. Be open to change, because not all change is bad. It might be scary, but if that's the case, express how you feel. Make some art. Go there, because luck is on your side, and you being willing to try or to show up is all that's required of you. And by saying all that's required of you, it's not diminishing the ups and downs and the experiences of life and the limiting beliefs and the coping mechanisms and the self-protection things and all of this. This is rather saying that sometimes things take a different shape than you might have expected. So I'm hearing that song now, Call Me By Your Name, na, 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 which is funny because in the music video it's all about like that. It's like Satan and the devil and hell and like all of this theme. It's very anti-godlike. It's very anti-innocent. But the whole purpose of it is almost to shine light on what is innocence truly. So taking a look at this. Not being afraid to offer liberation to yourself and others. Innocence is not a beginning destination. It's not an end destination. It's not a goal. It's not something that you grow out of. Who you are is not what you did. What you can do is not where you are. What you think is not all that can happen. And sometimes love is enough. Sometimes it's safe to express yourself. Sometimes your art will be good or it will feel good. Sometimes magic is not an illusion. Sometimes you are met with the real deal. And so your guides want you to go for it. Ooh, that came out really quickly. 10 of Pentacles. You will be happy here. You are happy here. You are safe here. You are protected here. Please stay here. I don't know what this is about group 3, but that is what your guides want to say. They're saying simple. I'm hearing kiss. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. You are safe here. You are valued here. You are loved here. You are enough here. You will be happy here. You will have enough here. Sometimes things are working in your favor. And sometimes there's no more to the story than that. Let's see, can we get a message, please, to group number 3 from the spirit team? So your spirit team who came out today, just to overview, we have Utgard Loki, we have Paul the Venetian, we have the Pleiades, we have the higher self of somebody that you know that loves you very, very much. We have Bode, we have Vega, we have White Tara. Okay, something is worth the investment. Get over the hump. Now, easier said than done. Okay, please try your best to get over the hump of overthinking, the hump of stress. Try to move towards the light and stay optimistic as much as you can, because not only is this a smart investment, not only is it worth the risk, but you will learn a lot of things that you didn't know you were curious about. It will satiate your hunger for life. And you will get to create something beautiful that you always imagined, always envisioned, and never quite knew where you would find it. You will find yourself standing unmistakably in your power in a graceful and gentle way. There is something around you where you question, am I enough? Is love enough in this situation? Is this really innocent? Is this really what it says it is? Is this really pure? Is this the real deal? Is this safe? Is this really what I think it is? And here we have this conflicting energy with the Four of Cups here between what you think it is. Is it really innocent, lucky, artistic, beautiful, spiritual, liberating, expressive? Or is it manipulative? Is it shystery? Is it the enemy of the gods? Is it this? And it's the optimistic one. It is what you think it is. Read the book. Don't just judge the cover. The more you read the book, the more you'll understand why you were right and where it's perhaps stress or fear or someone else's narrative getting in the way. Your spirit guides are supporting you in going after what you want. They want you to feel seen. They want you to feel what it's like to be a shining star in the sky. And so, while you may have experienced a lot of difficulty in your life up until this point, they want you to, I'm hearing like, hold on to your hats, because you get to enter the magical chapter of your life now. And there might be a bit of a trust barrier as you're stepping into it, but if there wasn't a better chapter ahead, then what was all that struggling for? Don't hold yourself back from a miracle that's been placed in your lap. Don't hold yourself back from a blessing, an opportunity, something beautiful that's been put in front of your face. They can set up everything for you. They can put you in the right place at the right time. They can have a shooting star fall from the sky into your lap. They can give you signs and synchronicities. They can give you a sign that says this is a sign, and they can have the opportunity presented right in front of your face. But if you don't take the opportunity, what else can they do? While it's true that what's for you won't pass you up, it's also true that it's possible to sleep on your blessings sometimes. And it's valid to be scared. It's valid to look at negative experiences and positive experiences and look at patterns, do some pattern recognition and see, but it's also normal to be optimistic. It's also normal to have faith. It's also normal to experience a magical, lucky, innocent, feminine, liberating, artistic existence. The Pleiades want you to know that you might feel this way, but might not know how. But you are going to have a beautiful impact on this earth while you're here. And this opportunity is allowing you to experience you becoming the version of you that gets to be that person. Your fear is valid, but in the David and Goliath moment, David shows up anyway. So, by your quiet listening, you can liberate others from fear. I'm being shown Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Don't be afraid to create something new. And use your instincts. They're there for a reason. Okay, group number 3. That is who is on your spirit team and what they are working with you on. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. And if you want to leave a comment down below to let me know this resonates and how, I would appreciate that as well. I love reading your comments. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, and I will see you next time. Namaste.